So like I was saying, I will be teaching things here that you may hardly, hear me talk about it in public settings because you see, in the work that we do, sometimes there are insights, there are strategies, there are things that you only share them with consulting clients, coaching clients, and those who are like in the mentorship program or kind of things. But I strongly believe that somebody's about to experience a special shift because, like I always say, many things that I get to teach, especially in close circle, like mentorship sessions or coaching sessions and consulting sessions with clients and companies, you will hardly find them on Google, right? Because they come from a place of thorough research where my company get to do a lot of research and analysis and testing and experimentation, and we try it here and there before we take it to the public. Like I always say, if you see me take knowledge to the public, know that that body of knowledge have been going through about at least 1 year of refinement and testing, right? So it takes a lot of perfection and experimentation and making sure that what we are bringing to the public as an expert, as an institution, is something that will cause a massive, massive shift when somebody hears it and somebody implements it, and their lives cannot remain the same. So the goal that I wanted to handle with my mentees in this particular uh, call that I was planning to have with them today was to focus on how to begin to teach them on how to break out from low economic value to high economic value. And you see, when it comes to making money, when it comes to building wealth, when it comes to creating prosperity opportunities, from our research and studies and analysis, we have discovered that people fall between these two extremes. There are people that they have very low economic value, and no matter how much they try to be successful financially, they never experience it. And there are people that they are high economic value, and every little thing that they do or what they do get to produce, a lot of wealth creation opportunities or cash as you may have it. So the goal of this mentorship call for today, I may not exhaust it all because we discovered about 6 to 7 things that you need to, if you are somebody who is of low economic value, meaning your ability to create value that has a direct impact in your capacity to be able to experience that breakthrough financially, if I may put it that way. There are a couple of things to that, and in this particular session, hopefully I'll handle two key things or two elements that if you are able to put them to use, it doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter your location, it doesn't matter your country, it doesn't matter the city where you are. These are things that if you're able to put them to use and execute them effectively, there will be a direct shift in how much you make as far as money is concerned, whether you run a business or you are a working professional, or even if you are unemployed right now and there is no particular source of income, it has the capacity to cause that particular shift. Will it require some work on your part? Yes. Because you see, there is nothing that can create value that will change your life that will require no work. The difference is, you see, when somebody is working hard from the place of guesswork, assumption, and ignorance, working hard from the place of trial and error, and hoping that something will work out. There are many, you see, in our research, we've discovered that majority of people in the middle class and in the lower class, what sometimes we can call the school of the poor, is this is how they operate. The things that they do They do things here and there, year in, year out, with the mindset that let me see the one that will work. But one of the major difference that we have seen with people who are able to build wealth and become people of high economic value is that they cut through the noise and they do their best to operate from the place of precision, from the place of, you know, expert knowledge, or if you may put it that way, so that they are not trying an error and hoping that something may work. You see, the danger of this is you can do try and error, guesswork and assumption, hoping that something may work. And before you know it, you are 50 years old or 40 years old and nothing is working. But if somebody who understands what they are doing and they can make up their mind that, okay, this works, this path of life I have chosen, this path works. And I therefore know that if I dedicate the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, whatever, I will end up a very, very impactful, prosperous person as far as I am concerned, right? And I'm hoping that the things I will share with us today, these are things that if you keep them, you absorb them, and make up your mind to execute them, you will see tangible, significant impact in whatever that you do. And there'll be a direct, financial change as far as your life or your business is concerned. Because the ability to elevate your economic power is something that you have to know how to do. And many people don't know how to do it. And that's the goal of this call, to show you a few things that if you put them to use, if you learn them and go start doing them, you will elevate your economic power. You see, there is nobody who knows how to elevate his or her economic power that can be stranded financially. There's nobody. You see, personally for me, I am a risk taker a lot of time. I'm a business person, and I've lost millions and millions in different business ventures and all of that. And I always say that I made the money. The money did not make me. There's no amount of money I can lose that will give me sleepless nights. Something else can give me sleepless nights. But you see, money, zero. Money is my slave, right? Money is my slave. So I'm not a slave to money. Money is my slave. So, and you can only operate from that level when you command a certain level of economic value and power, then money can become your slave. Like I was teaching some Christian young people a few days back, and I told them that, you see, many believers don't know that the way God designed the system and orchestrated the kingdom, he made money to be your slave. And among many other things that must be in your life for money to be your slave is economic power, is wisdom, right? Anybody who commands a certain level of wisdom, a certain level of, or the ability to elevate the economic power by elevating the economic value, money will always be your slave. Poverty cannot keep you in bondage. It doesn't matter how long you put in the hard work to get it right. It's you always, at the end, the outcome will be that money is your slave. And you can make it, remake it, 10x the making of the money, multiply it as much as you can. That's why, you see, my work helps me a lot to provide a lot of coaching and consultations and expert knowledge to a lot of multimillionaires and all of that. And I was talking to one of them and he said, you see, Joybert, he said, the most difficult money to make in your life is your first 1 million in any currency, your first 1 million. He says, if you're able to make your first 1 million, you can, the easiest thing to do is to make 10 million, 100 million, 200 million, and what have you. And that's true. Why? Because for you to make your first 1 million, you go through a lot of learning and guessworking, assumption and trials and here and there. And when you begin to do that, and if you're somebody who learns, you're somebody who pays attention to processes and patterns, you begin to learn what you're learning in that process. So that when you make your first 1 million, you just multiply what you did that worked so well. You amplify the efforts, you amplify the strategies, and you can turn that 1 million into 10 million, even 100 million, right? So I had to give that introduction so we understand how this is very important. And I'm believing that after this particular call, it will mark a turnaround, in the life of somebody in terms of how you see yourself, not just in a motivative way, but how you see yourself in your capacity to be a person of high economic value who can now elevate his or her economic power, then your financial life will change. Because it takes the right economic value for you to command economic power that puts you in that particular status, right? So I hope that this is making sense to somebody so far. Is it making sense to you? Can you type yes in the chat box if it's making sense to you so far? Because I need you to get this concept. Because you see, many people get to struggle with certain things because they don't understand these basics that I am telling you right now. And sometimes this basic, it may sound basic, but somebody sounds like, I wish I knew this. I wish I knew this 3 years ago, 4 years ago, right? But these are the basics that put you in a place where you are truly a king and money is your slave. So even the day that your bank account is zero, you are not depressed, right? Even the day that you're not making money at all, you're not depressed, you're not worried because you know that you operate from a certain economic value that money can always come into you, come to you effortlessly. Okay, so it's important that we get this and we understand it. Now, breaking out of poor economic value to high economic value requires a body of knowledge, and not just any kind of knowledge, but knowledge that you can execute, you can deploy it in your life, in your career, in your business, and begin to create, you begin to create that engine that changes your financial life. And like I said in today's session, I would like to share with you guys two elements in this mentorship call that can help you to break out from that low economic value or poor economic value to high economic value. Because you see, until you break out, many people are in the state of low economic value, but they want financial open doors, breakthroughs financially. That kind of breakthrough can only come to somebody who operates at a high economic value, right? I always like to take it back to the church because I grew up in the church in a Christian family. And, and in a Pentecostal setting, you see a lot of people can go to church for maybe 3 all nights and they're praying for financial breakthrough. And then when it doesn't happen the way they expected or the way they imagined, and they are praying contrary to the way the kingdom pattern. Because, for example, in the book of Proverbs, one of the major kingdom patterns of wealth creation is that you get wisdom, and the Bible says that riches and favor follows wisdom, right? Riches and favor does not follow prayer, it follows wisdom. So instead of praying for financial breakthrough, you go and pray for divine wisdom and divine ideas. Like I always tell people, and somebody will say, I'm praying for divine helpers. I'm like, there's nothing in the Bible like divine helpers. The Bible only says that kings, Gentiles will come to your rising, and kings will come to the brightness of your rising. So you need to be praying for ideas and ways to begin to rise. And then the Gentiles and the kings, which in quotes, you cannot call them divine helpers, can come to you. But you see, people, you can go in your private time and you're praying, Lord, divine helpers, divine helpers. And like, but you're not rising. There is nothing that you're doing that causes you to shine or to rise in a way that I, God, can activate the principle where kings now comes to your rising. Right? So let's not go there. So it's very important. Very important. So like I was saying, because I see this every day. I see this every day. You see somebody's complaining of, poverty and lack and struggles and all of that, it gets to happen. I have had my own fair shares of struggles and all of that. And at this season that I don't have enough money that the way I want, oh yes, there are there. But you see, there is one thing that I don't question. I would never question my ability to make money. If I can be in that season for a while, it doesn't mean that that season can control me, right? And that's how you need to begin to operate from. But the challenge is that you see people, for example, somebody who operates from a low economic value, and at that particular level, that person only has the capacity to make 100,000 francs or naira or $1,000 a month for those who are not America. But that person has this fantasy imagination that they would like to start making maybe $20,000 a month or start making 1,000,000 francs a month or whatever. But there's a major discrepancy, what I call money making discrepancy. They are operating from a low economic value dimension, but they want the blessings of someone who operates from a high economic value dimension. If you can only get this concept and make up your mind that how can I move from LEV to HEV? That's the formula I have on my notes, right? Because either you are an LEV person or you are HEV person. You cannot be both. You cannot be the two. You have to become one. And being able to acquire strategic knowledge that can magnify your ability to access economic opportunities is very important. So, the kind of economic opportunities or the kind of wealth creation opportunities that comes to you depends on who you are. Are you a low economic value person or high economic value person? For example, in this last 1 month, this is March ending. I want to ask you a question. How many money making opportunities came your way without you chasing for them? Is one way to rate if you are a low value economic person or a high value economic person. Because that's one matrix to use to see how many money making opportunities comes your way. Some may be direct. Direct means that you can quickly convert to cash. And some may be indirect, that you need to go through a couple of steps and different things before you convert to cash. Whichever one, how many came your way? For many people, it will be zero. For those who like workers, maybe the only thing that came their way was the 25th of the month that they're waiting for their salary. Apart from that, there is nothing that came their way that they can convert and get cash directly or indirectly. So the first, how do I put this? The first assessment I want you to do for yourself now is, are you an LEV person or HEV person? Comments in the chat box. Where do you fall? Where do you fall? LEV or HEV? Based on what I've explained so far. Be very sincere with yourself. Don't be shy. We all have been there one way or the other. Right? All right. So, as I said, there are about 8 things that I have discovered, eight elements that I've discovered that if anybody apply them, they will become a high economic value person and money will never be a problem in their life. And I may share just 2 today. The rest I'll just share in to my mentorship community of private mentees. So unfortunately, many people here may not access it when I'm doing the further training. But the 2 I will share today is already so much because this will pay a lot of money to be in a mentorship community. So you're gaining on somebody's free knowledge, right? Just this introduction is enough for you to enjoy already. Now, the first element I want to handle here is what I've termed unparalleled skills. I'm going to explain. Unparalleled skills. You see, there are skills and there are skills. There are skills. You see, everybody here right now in this call right now, you have skills, but there are skills that keeps you as a low economic value person. And there are some skills that if you get or you develop or you upskill into, you will automatically become a high economic value person and money will begin to run to you either through your career or through your business. Because you don't, you see, how do I put this? You don't escape economic stagnation through guesswork. Many people want to escape economic stagnation or financial stagnation through assumption. But if you are not able to command a certain level of mastery around a certain set of skills, you will find it difficult to create revenue opportunities or to even receive revenue opportunities because there are two types of people that operate at a high economic value. Never forget this, very important. There are two types of people that operate at the high economic value. People that they are so bold enough to create revenue streams opportunities, or there are some people that they just know what to do to position themselves to receive, to access revenue stream opportunities. But the fact is that if you operate from high economic value, one of these must happen to you. And sometimes either unconsciously or consciously. The difference is that sometimes for people like people who are aware, me, I prefer to create. I prefer to be the person creating, revenue streams opportunities. And that way you are in control of how much comes into you, right? Even if sometimes they're not working immediately, you keep on creating. But you're creating with a certain mindset, with a certain body of knowledge. So the first major element that is critical for somebody to move from low economic value level to a high economic value level is unparalleled skills. There are a set of skills that if you're able to embody, you will automatically become a high economic value person. You see, for example, there are entrepreneurs on this call right now, and I have seen many entrepreneurs running a business that business has the capacity to make millions every month. Millions every month. But because the person at the head of that business is a low economic value person, a business that can be a high economic value business begins to struggle. And in entrepreneurship, for a business to begin to thrive, the business should be a high economic value business led by an entrepreneur who is a high economic value business. That kind of business cannot fail, and that kind of business cannot struggle, right? So, on parallel skills, there are three skills dimension, and this is the core of it. If you can get this core, if you can get this core of this parallel skills, a lot will change in what you're doing. There are three skills dimension that you have to be good at if you are going to break out from low economic value person to high economic value person. Dimension number one here is what you can call meta skills. Meta skills. META. META. Meta skills. Now, meta skills are one of the most important set of skills that anybody who is going to thrive in their career, in their business, financially, whatever, the person must possess. I did not say may possess, it's a must. Because when you miss out on meta skills, every other thing in your life may struggle and you may stay stuck as a low economic value person. What are meta skills? Meta skills are the set of skills that teaches you how to learn. A skill that can help you to learn is a meta skill. And many people don't have these meta skills. For example, many people don't know how to read. Knowing how to read is a meta skill. Many people don't know how to learn. Learning how to learn is a meta skill. Many people don't know how to retain relevant information that they can execute in different areas of their life and begin to advance their life. They don't know how to retain it. For example, I am teaching something very practical, very high value that you may not hardly hear on a popular media platform, but very few people have the capacity or the skill to retain it, keep it, and deploy it in what they are doing. So meta skills are any skills, is any skills or a set of skills that can show you how to learn. So if I say that Mr. A has very good meta skills, what I'm saying is this person has mastery of learning how to learn. Mastery of learning how to learn. Examples of meta skills I gave some already: knowing how to read or having even the willingness to read is a meta skill. And then knowing how to read, knowing how to absorb information from what you're reading in a way that you can distill that information and put it to use is a meta skill. Self-reflection is a meta skill. Knowing how to turn an experience into wisdom is a meta skill. Problem solving is a meta skill. Critical thinking is a meta skill. Experimentation is a meta skill. So any skill that can help you to learn relevant things and even faster and put those things to work are very critical for your wealth creation. Because you need this. For example, many of us went to schools that none of those schools had any subject on how to make, manage, keep, and multiply money, right? If you're here and you went to a secondary school, a university, and they taught you personal finance on how to make money, on how to keep money, on how to manage your money, and how to multiply your money, tell us the name of that school so that we'll all send our kids to that particular school from today, right? Now, but money is so important to your destiny in terms of you being a person of impact and living the life that is worthwhile. But the school system did not teach you that. But that is something that you need to learn on your own. And if you don't have meta skills, you will not know how to learn that which is critical for your destiny. Okay? So the first dimension under unparalleled skills is meta skills. Dimension number two. Dimension number two. Are you following? Is it challenging you? Is it challenging you so far? Awesome. Awesome. Now, clearance. So you're in between. Okay, I'm seeing that just now. All right. Clearance is such a great guy. Awesome. Um, the second dimension is what I call soft skills stacking. Soft skills stacking. So, soft skills stacking is the concept that this is a concept that we put together in my research and training company just a few months ago, and it has helped so many people. And if you understand it, it will help you from today in such a profound way. Now, soft skills stacking is the ability to be able to look at, based on where you are now, based on your career or your business, what are the set of soft skills that you must have them together? You must be good at them. For example, you can, if you are good at one skill, that's good, but it's not good enough. The most exceptional people and people that we have worked with and who operate at the high economic value, we discover that they have practiced, either consciously or unconsciously, this concept that we have put together known as soft skills stacking, where the goal is you are a low economic value person. You now make up your mind. What are the top 5 soft skills that if I develop and stack them together, like a stack of books, right? These are 4 different books. So you stack them together, right? Because you understand that one skill doesn't have the capacity to get you to where you're supposed to be. You have discovered that, hey, for me to get to where I am supposed to be, there are certain set of soft skills that I must stack together. I must stack them together and be so good at them that I literally become a weapon in my industry, in my job, at my job, or as far as my business is concerned. Let's say, for example, somebody is here and if you're an entrepreneur, type what you do. I don't want to use familiar people that I already know. I want to use a strange somebody. Now, type your business in the chat box. I want to use a live business and explain this concept so you see how profound it is. Because no person who is a low economic value person can rise to being a high economic value person without soft skills stacking, right? Now, all right, I see telecom, I see fashion, I see health and wellness. Now, let me use fashion, right? Let me use fashion. Now, let's assume that the person doing fashion right now, you specialize to serve. You have different services. You have different types of clothing that you can make, but you want to create a set of specialized clothing and your target is that I want to start making senator wears or African wears. And in my country, I am targeting only expatriates. I am targeting only people from North America and Europe and Asia and Middle East who work in Cameroon or Nigeria. Right? So you see, and this is how to make money. You don't make money generally. If you don't have a niche that you have created a high value service for, this another element that you need to be good at to become a high value economic person. But I will not teach it here today. But like this fashion I'm talking about right now, instead of just sitting at your store and making dresses for any kind of Tom and Jerry that comes into your store, you see, they're going to pay you small chicken kind of money. But if you're somebody who operates from a higher level of intelligence as far as business is concerned, you can make bold moves and you decide that, you know what, apart from just making dresses for every kind of person, I'm going to create 2 or 3 niches. And the niche that came to my mind, I don't know why it came to my mind, but let me explain this. You make your mind that as a fashion designer, I'm going to specialize in making senator wears or African wears. And these African wears, I am not interested. If somebody comes and buy, fine. But my primary market for these African wear are Americans, Europeans, Asians, and Middle Easterners who work in Cameroon or have business in Cameroon. I am going to find a way to schedule audiences with embassy staff of different embassies or diplomatic institutions or international agencies like United Nations office in Yaoundé or World Bank office in Yaoundé and what have you. It's things like that. Now, but now this is me assuming that she has a service like that, right? And she has a service like that. She has the products, and each product costs, let's say, 100,000 francs. Because when you're doing that kind of high value products, you need to charge a premium fee, right? Now, she cannot decide that, okay, I already have the products. I'm a good fashion designer, can make good senator wears. They are good. But how do I make millions every month from this? She now decide, oh, this is the target market I'm going to target. These expatriates in Cameroon, and they have the income. They are well paid by their companies and their nations. Good. So I'm not doubting if I'm going to make money from them. That is tick, right? So I'm giving even ideas from another elements that I will not have to handle here today. She now says, oh, so what are the soft skills that I need to have in order to sell to these people? You can say, okay, number one, I will need research skills to know how to research where these people work, the kind of places they go to eat, the kind of parties they like to go, right? Number two, I need persuasive communication skills. Okay, good. Number three, I need presentation skills so that when I see them and I'm presenting the dress, my body movements, my language, and everything is so presentable that they will have no choice than just to buy from me. Number four, I need a soft skill on how to establish long-term relationship so that they practice repeat and regular purchase. You see the way I'm taking this business to in just a few minutes? But the goal is she has identified a target customers, she has a product, but the gap between her and the product and the target customers, that gap can only be bridged by her having a set of soft skills stacking. So there are many careers right now struggling and many businesses struggling because they don't have the right stacked soft skills. Like somebody once said, your resume, your CV can get you a job, but your soft skills will keep that job for you. So from our research and interviewing even people, we have discovered that the people that command a high economic value are people that possess a certain set of soft skills. Not one, not two, but at least five and above. They are so good with different set of soft skills, five and above. So if I were to ask you a question, what are your top five soft skills that you can rate yourself 90% and above in those soft skills? And you boldly say you have them. And those soft skills have a direct impact in the work that you do. Don't just generalize them. No. We're talking about soft skills that you have that can impact you. For example, personally for me, if I cannot speak and train, present well, cannot make money, right? So apart from my technical skills of the work I do behind the scenes, but I bring materials in public, I need to have the body of set skills that if I begin to do my work, is going to enable me to get paid. So your soft skills are what makes up your front office, if I may say so. Then your technical skills are where you create value. There are many people that are creating value behind the scenes, but they lack the soft skills to cash out from that value. Never forget that. So what I'm asking you is, what are your soft skills that can help you to cash out of the value that you are creating? If somebody has seen that this is where they're lacking, if this speaks to you, this particular point too, if it's speaking to you, type me in the chat box. If it's speaking to you, type me in the chat box. If it's speaking to you, type me in the chat box. Let me see. Because there are many of you that you're so good at different things. For example, there's somebody here that the soft skills that you lack is boldness. You don't have the courage to step out. You don't have the courage to step out. There's some of you that you're creating value very well, but you don't have the courage to charge very well. Open your mouth and say, this product is 200,000 francs, and present it so well that somebody cannot refuse. You see, for example, if you're in business here and you have a product that you have to present to people to buy in one way or the other, being courageous is a skill. And getting attention is a skill. Somebody said, give examples of soft skills. Courage is a soft skill. How to get attention is a soft skill. And then presenting when you get the attention is a soft skill. It's a soft skill. You see that? So I wanted to give an example that there's somebody here right now. Let's go back to the lady who said that she's doing fashion designing. Maybe she's very good at dresses. Maybe we ask her right now, can you share your work in the chat box? You'll be amazed at how much good work she has. But she has never been bold enough to say that, you know what, the US ambassador and the staff in the US embassy in Yaoundé, Cameroon must wear my dress. That comes from the soft skill of courage and boldness. Can I make some mind? Okay, I'm going to start. My next skill I'm activating is the skill to get their attention. How do I get their attention? Okay, number one, who in my network can get me closer to the US ambassador? She checks and checks and checks, she cannot see. Okay, no problem. How can I use social media to get the attention of the US ambassador if it's not working? Can I attend an event? And in that event, I'll meet somebody in that event who can know somebody who knows the US ambassador. Right? This simple thing. You see me, I cannot be stranded anywhere. I will find my way out of it. I will figure it out. And that's why you notice that many people are low economic value people, because just these basic things, you will notice that majority of the people don't have these things. Right? Just if we end here now, some of you, do you see why you find it difficult to have money in your life? Do you? Because like I said, money is a slave. See, many people think as if money is direct like this. No. Money comes to you based on other things that you do, and then money runs after you as a slave. Never forget this. If there's one thing you will learn from me today, never forget that money is a slave. If you have this simple scenario alone, your goal will be to what things can I begin to do that will make money my slave? Simple. And I'm teaching you guys those things right now. Like this lady in fashion right now. The things the example I've given, if she can do this example, money will become her slave as far as that product is concerned. You see that now. So I gave examples of different soft skills depending on where you, as I said, these soft skills must not just be general skills. No, they must be skills that have a direct impact in the works of your hands as far as your business is concerned and what you do is concerned. I gave some examples of it. Boldness is a skill. How to get attention is a skill. How to keep attention is a skill. Persuasive communication is a skill. Presentation skills, soft skills, public speaking, collaboration, how to influence people to stay to practice, to repeat and regular purchase is a skill. Adaptability is a soft skill. So many of them. Creativity is a soft skill. So the advice for you is After this call right now, go and find your top 5 soft skills and challenge yourself in the next 6 months to 1 year, whatever goal you want to set. Challenge yourself that my goal is I have discovered that as far as my work is concerned, as far as my mission is concerned, to move from a low economic value person to a high economic value person, these are the soft skills that I must stack and become good at. The third dimension, remember, I'm still teaching you guys on element number 1 to move from low economic value person to a high economic value person. We're still on elements number 1, and I said I'll teach you guys elements number 2. And under elements number 1, we termed it on parallel skills. And under this, we have the 3 dimensions of skills, and we have seen the meta skills, the soft skills stacking, and now we're going to talk about the technical skills stacking. You can put in brackets if you're writing industry skills stacking. I'm going to explain. Technical skills stacking, or in brackets, industry skills stacking. Now, before I explain in the concept the way I have it here, let me give an example. Now, let's go back to the lady who is doing fashion designing. Now, for her to be an exceptional fashion designer, there are a certain body of technical skills that she must stack them together. It's the same concept with soft skill stacking, but now is technical skills stacking. What are those hard skills? Those direct skills that you use to create value. You see, soft skills help you to sell value. Technical skills help you to create value. It's like in school. You see, everything in the world is created by using knowledge out of physics, chemistry, biology. The knowledge from these 3 subjects creates everything around the world. From there, you can now bring out engineers and all these people manufacturing and all of that. And then every other subject focuses on selling what chemistry, biology, and physics creates. Every other subject. If you did arts, literature, history, economics, geography, commerce, accounting, business management, whatever that you did, as far as it is not sciences, as far as it is not under physics, under chemistry, and under biology, every subject you study is to focus on learning how to sell what these other 3 subjects create. Mathematics, what they create, right? So it's the same like in this concept of soft skill stacking and technical skills stacking. Technical skills stacking makes up the various set of skills that you use hands-on to create value that you can use soft skills to sell or to present to different people. And your technical skills stacking or your industry skills stacking are very critical. Why? Because you can have meta skills, you can have soft skills, but yet you are broke. You know why? Because you cannot create value. The marketplace only rewards value. Exchange of currency happens because of value. So if you see, there are 2 ways to make money. Either you steal the money or you exchange value for the money. 2 ways. No other way. If you see somebody receiving money from another human being, either the person is stealing or the person gave value and is receiving money. So right now on this call, if you are not a thief and money is coming into your life, it means that there is some form of value that you're giving to someone and they have quantified your value in a certain amount and they're giving you that particular amount of money in return for the value that you're giving them. So under technical skills stacking or industry skills stacking, your mission is what are the top 3, the top 5, or even top 10 technical skills that you must be highly proficient in. You must be highly skilled in for you to create the highest form of value and charge for that value. So the lady with the fashion designing, if she's going to move from low economic value level to very high economic value level, maybe running her business in multi-millions. I have a couple of fashion designers that I've worked with that make millions. Fashion designing is big business, big industry. Anybody who gets it right is literally swimming in money because people always like to look good. And people keep getting older. And the more they wear the dresses depreciate and wear out. They want new ones. So it's an evergreen business, right? So, but she needs to make up her mind that if I want to be among the top 3 fashion designers in my country, top 3, the level that I can operate so well that I can be trusted to dress the president, to dress the first lady, to dress the prime minister, whatever you are. What set of technical skills do I need to stack together to operate at that level? You see, the kind of high value economic goal that you set for yourself will determine the kind of technical skill stacking that you're going to put together for yourself. Let me say it again, because this is a major differentiating factor between low economic value people and high economic value people. The kind of high economic goal that you set for yourself and your business will determine your set of technical skill stacking that you are developing or you have developed so you can become the person that can achieve that particular goal. So then with a fashion designer designing business can now say, oh, you know what? The first thing I need to be good at is I need to know how to use the machines that make the dresses I am targeting to sell to high-profile people. Okay. The second set of technical skill is I need to do proper research and begin to find out what kind of material do people in the rich class like to wear. That's one thing I discovered years ago, that people in the upper class, there's a particular set of materials that if you're selling a dress to them, and that dress does not fall within the materials that the rich wear, they will never buy from you. They may not tell you, but they would never buy your dress. So she now needs to know, okay, she needs the technical skill of sourcing this high-profile material from Turkey, from China, from Malaysia, Japan, whatever. She needs to do that. Okay, the third technical skill. Instead of just putting my dresses in a nylon paper, right? Or black paper, what have you, common paper. I need to upgrade my packaging skills, how to package the dresses I give to my clients. You see, so she began to outline these technical skills And when you eat, as I'm giving this example, tell it to yourself. Tell it to yourself. You see that this is why I cannot be a high economic value person. This is why I stayed here for so long. Is somebody seeing that already? Because you cannot, the only way, you cannot wish yourself out of being a low economic value person. There are things that you have to get right. Then you get there. There are these things that you have to get right. Then you get to that level. And when you get these things right, you will get there effortlessly. Okay? So your mission now should be understanding, based on the work I do and what I do, what are the set of industry technical skills or expertise that I must master every detail about, that I can use to create high level value. That was element number one. Did you learn something so far? Did you learn something so far? Is somebody making a strong decision right now as a result of what they're learning? New knowledge should cause two things in your life. New knowledge should reduce suffering, and new knowledge should lead to momentum or decision making. Two things. If you listen to something new for the first time and it doesn't cause you to make a decision, or it doesn't reduce some level of suffering in your life, it could be financial suffering, it could be business suffering, it could be whatever kind of suffering, but not suffering only reduces when light increases. Darkness only depreciates or disappears when light increases, right? Okay. All right. Thank you for the feedback. Let me quickly do number two, and then we are done. The second element is that if you will become a person who is of high economic value and not being trapped in the low economic value dimension of life, you must have competitive drive. Competitive drive. You see, you can have element number one and still be stuck in smallness, in victimhood, in personal limitation, or even societal stereotypes, because you don't have that competitive drive to break out of that low economic value level into a higher level. So what I'm also saying is that if you listen to me in the first part of this video and you don't develop this competitive drive, you can have knowledge and insight and ideas that have the capacity to change your life forever, but yet your life is not changed. Because this was something that when I discovered, it was so profound, so profound. Like, hey, what separates these people from these people? What separates them? You see, one of the research that I led my guys and we did was, and I did a lot of reading last year, was that I read a lot of books to begin to understand. I was looking for people who stood out in their generation in the last 100 years. So I went back the last 100 years to read the who is who and guys who did mind-blowing, spellbound things in business, in career, in sports, in music, in athletics, what have you, technology, and even the guys at the present moment. There are many things that we documented out of that research and studies. But you see, one of them is this competitive drive. It is so powerful that if you're able to put it to use the right way, it can take you from point A to point B in less than no time. Just having that unwavering commitment that you are going to exceed your present personal standards and industry standards that everyone is practicing. Hear me very well. Proof that you have competitive drive is that you identify what are the personal standards that I live by that are limiting me. Secondly, what are the industry standards, those average industry standards that everyone else is practicing, then I'm going to beat those standards. Introduce or pay the price to be so extraordinary and so excellent at what I do that is beyond what people do in the industry. Because this competitive drive is very important because it brings you to that place where you are relentlessly curious. And this brings you to be able to innovate and disrupt existing systems or status quo. Having that drive also means that you have this unshakable belief in your capacity to be a high performer, to be a person of high economic value. So you see, maybe somebody right now, you are listening to this right now, and you know, many of you confirm in the chat box that at this very moment, you are operating at low economic value level. No problem with that. Over 90% of the world, people are born at that level. Poor families, middle class, over 90%, billions of people are born at that level. The sad thing is that billions die at that level. But you can make up your mind that, okay, based on the new knowledge I have been learning, based on what I have learned so far, you instill into yourself the unshakable belief that you have the capacity to be a person of high economic value. You make up that decision because here you are operating from that place where your passion for results transcends comfort and complacency. Your passion for results transcends comfort and complacency. For those who are interested, they know this already, but you see, the last time I ever had TV in my house is 2015. I don't watch movies, I don't watch the news, right? Things like that. And I have a limited time I spend on social media. Because my belief is that you cannot consume junk, right? Movies, junk, too much social media, junk, all of those things, a lot of junk into your brain and expect to create value at the highest level. And if you're able to have 4 hours on TV and social media, you will not have 4 hours to read or 4 hours to experiment ideas and insights that can make you the best in your industry. You have to pick one. So my passion for results in my field transcends the comfort of watching a movie or the comfort of watching football. But is it bad to do those things? No. The point is that we have different priorities. We are on a different mission. Like I always fondly say, never forget this. If you do what everybody in your generation is doing, if you think like them, if you behave like them, you will end up like them. Why? You can never lead a generation that you think like them, you behave like them, you do what they do, and you act the way they act. If you will lead your generation, you have to do the opposite of what they do. So they will run to you and beg you for wisdom and counsel and strategies and pay you for it even at the end. Right? Or buy value from you. Run a company, they buy products and services from you. But you can only create value that the masses can run to you and buy if you are not doing what they're doing and you begin to create what they cannot create, when they have a problem or a pain point, your business, your skills will become the solution or the pain relief to the pain that they have. So I'm explaining this to say that if you are somebody who has competitive drive, your passion for results transcends comfort. Your passion for result transcends your willingness to sleep for what? 10 hours, 8 hours, 7 hours, whatever, right? It transcends it. They always talk about, having good rest and all that. I deal a lot with guys at the top of a certain level. These guys don't do that thing, right? They do rest well, but that get 8 hours sleep and all that kind of nonsense, it's not for them. It's for those in the school of the poor, right? And I always say that you're struggling financially. Where do you get the heart to sleep well? Right? I'm not saying that you should be worried. I'm saying that you should be restless in terms of finding solutions for your financial problem, not being worried and going through anxiety and depression and sadness because you're broke. No, that's you're wasting energy. When I say you should be restless, I'm saying being restless in terms of how do I find better solutions to create better value so I can be better positioned in a way that money can become my slave. You see, anybody who is struggling financially, you are a slave to money. Money is your master because you would never see a place where a slave rules over the master. Like Nigeria movies, you see a rich madam suffering a house girl, something like that, right? And that kind of story, right? So anywhere you find suffering, know that you are a slave. There's a master over you, right? And the only way to beat the game is for you to become a master and let that thing suffering you become your slave. And that's where, and anybody who is a master, and the word master means that there are things you have mastered at that level that automatically makes you a master, and others or that particular situation becomes your slave. In the case of money, in this explanation, we're not talking about human beings being your slave. Okay, that's all we're talking about here. All right. So this element number 2 is very important. Many people don't have competitive drive. They don't have it. Many people are motivated. There's a difference between being motivated and being somebody who has competitive drive. Being somebody who pushes boundaries. You push boundaries. You believe so much in your potential and you treat every discomfort that you go through as an opportunity to grow and to do something better. Somebody who practices competitive advantage, you intentionally create a high stake environment around you in order to stimulate exponential growth. You see, there's something I wrote down and I said that people who operate at the low economic value, the environment around them is a low economic environment. People who operate at the high economic value, they have created what I call a high stake environment that positions them to only operate at that level. For example, it could be the environment of, the kind of information they consume, the kind of books they read, the kind of people they have around them. Because if you don't have a high stake environment that can stimulate exponential growth, you will always end up being a low economic value person. And if you look at people that are of low economic value, the environment around them is full of so much entertainment,
so much hangout with their fellow colleagues at that level, so much social media, so much food. They eat a lot at different events. This true statistics. I'm not just saying it sounds funny, but it's true statistics. We notice that people who are low economic value, you find a lot of entertainment around them. You find a lot of hangout, and then you find a lot of food around them. A lot of food around them. These three things, you find it. A lot of alcohol around them, find it. That environment does not represent a high stake environment. There are some people that you need to repent. You have been praying to God for things, but the environment around you kills testimonies, kills breakthroughs, limits the move of God in your life. You need to repent because the environment around you is important. It's very important. So, do you have a high stake environment or a low stake environment? What do you have around you? You have to create it. That environment doesn't happen by chance. You have to create it. There's a millionaire that I got informed about. Do you guys know that people who own social media as companies, there's a guy who owns a majority of shares in a particular social media company that his kids don't use social media until they are 20 years old. Because social media is programmed. That's why you get addicted to liking things, to watching things, and it's programmed to cause you to be addicted to it. Why? Because there's nothing free in this world. Facebook is not free. TikTok is not free. LinkedIn is not free. X is not free. Instagram is not free. You are paying it with your attention. So the only way that, because why? Companies pay these companies marketing money. And let's say I want to go to Facebook and get Facebook to, I'm a large company, and get Facebook to put my art on Facebook. What Facebook will show me is that, you see, due to our addiction programming, let me say it that way, we have been able to successfully make sure that on average, 80% of Cameroonians and Nigerians, they stay on social media for at least 4 hours every day. The mission of any social media platform is to keep you glued on social media platform for as long as possible, because it is that data and that matrix that they will show to large companies to convince them that, look, we have their attention, we have their eyeballs. That is why all these social media companies, they have psychologists that they deal with them before they do anything, before they update and something, a setting or something. Everything they're doing, the goal is to keep people on social media. And sadly, people in the middle class and the lower class, who are majority of them are of the low economic value status, they are the ones who stays longer on social media. Right? So that's something you need to understand. So what was I saying? For you to be somebody of high competitive drive, you need to create a high stake environment. If you know that you will need to create a high stake environment, type me in the chat box. You know that the environment around you does not permit you at all to be a high economic value person. Type me in the chat box. That you're making a decision today to create an environment around you that will push you to be that high economic value person. Beautiful. Happy to see that. Now, quickly, how does all of these things that I've shared with you, how can it help you now make money specifically? Then we are done and can take a few questions. There are many ways. I'll just share three. How can elements number one and elements number two help you make more money, right? Number one is that when you have especially technical skills, it enables you to specialize in a profitable niche as a career person or as a business person. Because when you become so technically good, you can create relevant value that people cannot resist you. So you can specialize in a niche and charge so much money that you become very profitable in that niche. That's the meaning of specialize in a profitable niche. So here you are leveraging your technical expertise to solve a pressing problem or a unique problem. Like, for example, the fashion example I gave, where she makes her mind that I am from today. One of my major products I have from my fashion business is that I create senator wears. And these senator wears they have grade A material, excellent, classic, amazing, remarkable, design and tailoring, well packaged. And this particular product, I am targeting only people who are expatriates, who are from other countries like North America, Europeans, Asians, Middle Easterners, Australians in Cameroon. This product, my target is only embassy workers. My target is only diplomatic institution workers. My target is only international NGOs. Those are who I'm targeting. But she can do that if she has that high level technical skills to create something of value at that high level. Then she can charge more and sell to people. Like I always say, you want to make more money, learn how to sell to the rich. If you are not selling to rich people, you will hardly make money. Except you're selling to the middle class and lower class, and you are selling to thousands and thousands of them every day. Then you can make money, a lot of money, right? So when you have this specialized, skills that leads to profitable niche, this now positions you to be an authority, a go-to authority. And when you become a go-to authority in what you do, you can now charge premium rates, or you can even command a higher salary. Number two, how can you make money from what we have shared today? What I call meta skills and income streams. Meta skills and income streams. Like I said, meta skills are skills that can help you to learn. For example, learning how to learn is a meta skill. Now, there are different income streams that are coming right now through, let's say, social media platforms, through blockchain technology, through different platforms here and there. But if you don't know how to learn quickly, you will not be able to create more income streams, right? So, because the concept here under these meta skills and income streams is that by quickly mastering new ideas or emerging trends or emerging opportunities, you can build income for yourself, or you can pivot various income streams, and you can even become a freelance expert, or you can create stuff and sell to other people. Like I always say, one of the fastest ways to make money is look at your industry, spot where your industry is going to, get there first, learn faster, get there first, and then let others pay you to get to where you are. This particular strategy works a lot with people who travel, right? People like when let's say Canada Line, when it started years ago, people were able to travel to Canada through that line, started becoming immigration experts here and there, and showing people how to fill the forms and apply for visa and get to Canada too. and they get paid from doing that. That was meta skills and income stream at work. In the days of going to Dubai from Africa, the same thing. The first people that went to Dubai early enough, 2009, 2010, they when they went there, they went through the process, they started teaching others how to go through the same process and they get paid. So you see an opportunity, you learn it very fast in your industry, you become good at it, then you monetize what you know, and then you make money from it, right? And then number three is relentless competitive drive and bold money moves. Relentless competitive drive and bold money moves. Many people here, this is what you need to do. You don't have the courage and the boldness to step from your comfort zone and try to sell to bigger clients, bigger customers, or even charge bigger amounts of money for the good work that you are doing. So you need that competitive drive and that bold money move to take you to that level. So here you are setting bigger revenue targets, you are testing bold methods, and you are refining your approach based on the feedback, and you're stepping outside your comfort zone and you are willing to fail. You see, you cannot make bold money moves if you are not comfortable at failing. You must be comfortable at saying that I'm going to make this move. It's better I am rejected than for me to stay and not try at all. Make the move. And this mentality of relentless competitive drive and bold money moves has the capacity to fuel your financial growth. Because nobody who ever entered financial rest did so from the place of incremental actions. Let me say it again. Nobody ever made big money from their business or career through incremental efforts. No. It's always after they do incremental efforts, they have mastered a few things here and there, they now make bold money moves. Like, for example, the fashion design example we have been using so far. This lady has been doing her fashion business, sitting in her shop. People are coming to her and doing a few dresses here and there. But she has never stepped out and said, you know what? I'm going to create a unique product, a unique clothing line, and I'm going to sell to a particular class of people at a very high price. And I'm going to leave my shop. I'm going to knock at their offices. I'm going to present to them, or even I'm going to give them one dress for free and tell them, try this for 1 month, and if you don't like it, I'll come and collect it back. But if you like it, I challenge you to order 5. Bold money moves, right? I actually have a friend who did that, right? He did his product, expensive products, but he did it and went and gave to rich people. He said, look, this product cost me this and this amount of money to make. I believe in my product. It's one of the best you will ever have. Try it out. If you don't like it, call me or come and take it back. But I challenge you, if it's good for you, I challenge you, buy 2 from me and let my business grow. Very bold guy. Guess what? He made millions that season because every rich person, I know funny thing, rich people love bold people. I don't know why, but they just love them because they are bold people too. They're very courageous people. So they like people of courage and boldness. So I hope that these 2 elements challenge you, and these 2 elements are just the first 2 foundational elements out of the over 7 elements that we have tested and documented out of our research to help people to move from low economic value and high economic value. And if you're here and you're not a registered mentee, you're benefiting this because today I just felt like, you know what, make it an inclusive mentorship call and let other people benefit. But I just shared with you guys what my mentees get to enjoy when we have our normal monthly mentorship calls. All right, I can take 2 questions. Yes, 2 questions, and we call it done. But while you're typing your questions, was this worth your time? Did you pick out something that you will deploy and change your life? I know it works, right? We never bring any knowledge in public that we have not tested in private in a small group of people, right? So I know it works, right? What we taught works practically in a powerful way. But did you pick out something? Did you pick out something that you're so precise? There's something I teach called knowledge conversion. How to convert knowledge into insights that can change your life, right? So one way to do that is when you learn something, distill it into insights and pick an insight and relate that insight to a particular problem in your life and use that knowledge to solve it. Okay. All right. You don't work on being courageous. The only way to be courageous is to make courageous move. You cannot read about courage and be courageous. You cannot try to be courageous. No, you only become courageous by doing courageous things. And probably failing in the process, then you build that particular courage. Okay. So our challenge you is go, move, leave, do what you are most afraid of. Set a timeline. If you're my mentee, I'll give you what I do is I'll give you a challenge. I'll have a meeting with you and tell, okay, I'm giving you 2 weeks, get this done. I don't care if you fail or you succeed, but give me feedback that you did it. Right? So I want to give you 2 weeks, go and do something with what you're afraid of. Okay. Any questions? Questions? Questions. Any questions before we round up? No question so far? All right. Let me see. There are questions in the chat box. Awesome. Happy to see that you are taking a lot home. Awesome. Awesome. No questions so far? All right. So let me assume that I had very, very good students. How do I contact the rich for my products? Go to where they are. Simple now. Go to where they hang out. Where do they hang out? Where do they hang out? Do they have social media platforms? Can you DM them on social media? Fine. Do you know restaurants where they go to? Why not go there and try to buy a plate of food for the purpose of networking? What if where you work, your work ethic demands that you don't make money? Well, if you're in that kind of work, your next step may be to start seeing how you can partner with other people. You have people that you trust that you can become their partner and be maybe like a funder, investor, and then contributor in terms of advice and counsel that will help you if your work does not permit you to do that. So if you have a sibling you can trust who has the skills and all of that, you can work with the person and you guys decide on which kind of business you want to do, and then make sure you have all it takes to make the business work, and then you do that. So you can start from there. So your best bet is collaboration. So your first major mission is find someone you can collaborate with first. Okay. Then from there, you can build this. Okay. Awesome. All right. I see people asking questions about mentorship, how to join the group. Send me a WhatsApp message if you're not in the WhatsApp group, or if you join this through email or through my newsletter, just send me an email. I'll give you the details of that. And I think I can take 3 more people only. Sometimes it's too much work too. So, all right. So if you can reach out first, I will indicate for you to join. All right, people, those are all the questions I have. Happy that you found it worthy, impactful, and please put it to work. Hope is not a strategy. Hope has never been a strategy. So execution is what produces results. So put it to use. Relevant knowledge is useless without you
acting on that particular knowledge. Keep building and see you all when we see each other. Cheers. Blessings.